cymbals, bells, bongos, vibes, vibra slap. Don't worry about that. Whistle, wind gong, wine bottles. Okay, so I think I'm in pretty good shape. I got started in music when I was in 4th grade. We used to pantomime to records. We'd take Beatle records and stuff like that. We'd make cardboard guitars and we'd make drums out of hat boxes. One thing led to another, and I got the job at the symphony, and so it's just like, you know, things just kind of build over years. You know, the first thing we end up having to do at the Cabrillo Music Festival is figure out, when they send us the music, what instruments we need. And we have to make that list. And if we don't have an instrument, then we have to find it. We get some pretty crazy kinds of things. Like sometimes we have to bring wine bottles, like this year. I only have 2. I need 3. I think we need 5 all total. So we might have to drink some wine there at the festival. For a percussionist, it's really a lot different because you have to find the instruments that you're actually going to use. And so that process takes a little bit of time. One of the composers wrote for whistle. He doesn't say what kind, so I'm taking several just to be on the safe side. And then there's all the loading that happens, all the packing away of things. I have a detailed list of instruments. There's about 70 different instruments for the Cabrillo Festival this year. It took me this morning 2 hours just to pack the stuff here at the house. Probably another couple hours to load the truck. And then I keep some of my instruments at San Jose State. I spent 2 hours there last night just packing up, making sure. And a couple days ago, I spent another 2 hours packing other stuff. So I've spent probably in the neighborhood of just 8 hours just packing equipment, getting the truck loaded. Once the truck's loaded here in San Jose, at my house here and at San Jose State, then we have to actually take the stuff over to the hall. They unload it, and then I have to go to the hall, and now we have to set all the stuff up. We have to organize it. We have to figure out where it's going to go on the stage. I have these.
Space in like 2 seconds.
Okay, and I'm going to take those bells and I'm going to get rid of them too. Every instrument that you see at the festival, we might just play 5 wood blocks, but we had 12 to pick from. And so we want to pick out the ones that the composers like the best, or the ones that we feel work the best, or what Marin really likes. I actually didn't start playing 4 mallets until after I got my master's degree at San Jose State University. I taught myself to play. The marimba is very different from even playing the piano, even though it's set up the same as piano. You have to get used to looking back and forth. You can't simply feel the instrument. You have to look back and forth at the music. That is really hard to do.
It's weird without a conductor.
Yeah. Most of the time, composers, they specify how many percussionists are going to be in a piece. I do it a little bit different at the Cabrillo Music Festival. Most of the time, you hardly ever have to play this much music on a concert. Not only that, we don't do just one concert. We do several concerts in a week. So we have a tremendous amount of music to play. Even though a piece of music might say, this piece only calls for 2 players, sometimes I'll figure it out so 4 players are playing it. That way I can spread out the workload and make it easier on the players that are in the percussion section. I also try to assign the parts so that percussionists are playing to their strengths. Some people are better at playing mallet parts, some people are better at playing percussion parts. And so I know the players that I have in the percussion section, And so what I try to do is assign them parts that I feel they'll do the best job on. The Cabrillo Festival, there's so many different challenges. It's not really just playing one instrument. Sometimes the biggest challenge is really setting up, 8 different instruments and then being able to move from one to the other really smoothly and quickly and keep your place in the music. Percussionists, generally, we're not reading one line of music. A lot of times we read 4 or 5 lines of music. So for us, it's like reading a score. A percussion section is a team, and not just in how we set up, but also in how we play. I think that when you play percussion, a lot of it is choreography. A lot of it is making sure that you have the right mallets on the instrument, they're set up the right way. Most of the time, we just have that down. We just figure that out. That's just part of our job. There are times, though, in the past where I can think of at least one situation where a player didn't put the mallets back on the instrument. And so I remember going over to play the instrument and the mallets weren't there. And I just simply had to figure out where they were. So by the time I found them, a half a measure went by, and then I just basically came in late. It's life. Music's not always perfect. There have been a few times where we've had rehearsals for the sole purpose, the percussion section, just by themselves on our own time. We actually set up a piece and then we practiced moving from one instrument to another because we knew that if we didn't, we were never going to get it right in the rehearsal. I think the hardest part of the job at the festival is actually playing the music. The most fun part is really that part too. I mean, I enjoy playing all the different instruments, and I enjoy the challenge of setting up all the stuff. I enjoy hanging out with the percussionists and everything too. I guess for me, if I had to choose what's the best about music, it's the playing part of it. And so I feel lucky that I've been able to do this for such a long time.